We are the Door-to-Door Team. This is the Door-to-Door Team podcast, where we talk about the highs,
formulated my mindset to always think and always believe that I'm going to be the best.
the lows,
I have a 3-year-old, and I do this for them.
and all the in-between of door-to-door.
Let's go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, Kiki.
Okay, Suli, here we are.
Here we are.
Podcast. It's here. It's finally here. I know you've been so excited about it.
So awkwardly excited. Like,
So how do you feel? Like, what does this mean for you and where we're at as a team?
so just a couple things. Like, one, I always do get excited about people seeing the real in the door-to-door space. I'm wanting to be able to share more authenticity, but at the same time, it's nerve-wracking. I hate the camera. I hate the social media thing, but I'm grateful, for my brother and constantly pushing, because then I wouldn't have met as many people as I have. I wouldn't have made the connections that we have, and I'm just kind of hoping that we're going to be able to do the same thing with this page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate
Yeah.
and feel seen and heard, and feel like their stories are also part of a bigger journey that's like beyond themselves.
And that's like one thing that I always love that you bring up, though, is just the concept of feeling seen. I know that it's more meaningful for us as women, but just like some of the conversations over the last couple of days and some of the little things that you want to do for like the guys on the team, and just that line of wanting people to be able to feel seen. And I think that that's exactly what this is going to be, is just, I want to make sure you feel seen too, and people know the ins and outs of like where you've come from and like how far you've gotten, and just like the growth. It's fun to watch.
Well, thank you. Thanks for bringing me on this journey and supporting me so much. I feel so grateful. I know you have you've always been a big dreamer.
Yeah.
And I love that you have surrounded yourself with people that have helped support that and facilitate where their strengths are. Like bringing in Mikey to do the things that you're not as great at with the social media. And so with this summer, I feel like you're dreaming even bigger. What is your expectations and your goals for elevating like our team this year?
And I'm gonna be like honest. That's something that I hate talking about like publicly, is how big of a vision, or like even like numbers, and just like dreaming, and just like yesterday just chatting with the team, and like I created this goal like behind closed doors of what I want to do over the next couple of weeks, and it wasn't something I wanted to share, but I'm like, you know what, like I'm gonna do it. We are gonna be number one, and we're gonna be, I feel like the more that I do kind of share the numbers or the visions, the more people that are bought in. But for me, I think that the biggest thing is being able to actually have people like you who are gonna connect and have strengths in other aspects on this team, or even like Mikey as my brother, and just like the way that he elevates people culturally. And then like Antoine, like he's just such an action taker that it allows me to redo, maybe, I guess, numbers. And I don't even want to say realistic, because I hate that for being a dreamer of using the word realistic. But I didn't anticipating having as small of a team as we do, like right now, middle of the summer. And I know a lot of teams, they lose people, and they, maybe aren't recruiting as much, but I didn't anticipate that the numbers would still be where they are with as little people that we do have. And I still think that we're gonna be the number 1 or 2 team, by the end of the summer. Like, I still believe that I am gonna have half the people here who are gonna be 6-figure earners. I still do believe that there are gonna be people like Kiki who are gonna be making and doing things that she's never done before this year. And it's still just hard to say that openly.
Well, this is good. You're doing hard things, and this is why we're bought in, because when you're willing to share your vision, it's not just because you are dreaming big, it's because you believe that with us, we can all accomplish that. So it's like, it's not a pressure, it's like an empowering sharing.
Yeah.
And we can't accomplish any of these things alone. Like, you could not alone accomplish this big goal that you have.
Yeah.
You couldn't. Like, you can do a freaking lot alone. But
not
this big.
Yeah.
And so you trusting us with that information and saying, okay, like, what are our individual goals? And that's how door-to-door works. It's an individual, like, on the day, it's an individual sport. Like, when you go out on the doors, you're usually alone.
Yeah.
But then when we get back together, we're a team and we have a team goal that elevates everyone. And I love that our theme this year, as we have been helping our team culture, is like the waves and elevating and like raising the tide for all of us, so that when we paddle out and we're working hard, we can all find that flow and be riding the waves of success.
And I feel like a lot of people have bought in, and that I like thank you for just being able to have more meaning behind the concept of like our team name and getting people bought in. I think that that's just a part of the big picture. The more that people are bought into the vision, to what's going on, to like the culture, the quicker that we're going to be able to obtain some of these big goals and visions that I don't want to say that I have, but I feel like you have gigantic goals like this year too, and we're getting on pace now.
Yeah, finally. That's good. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Finding our rhythm as individuals and as a team.
Yeah, and I want to kind of talk about that, like with you, Kiki. I was chatting about this with you just a little earlier in our office before we had come here, just watching like all the things that happens behind the scenes. Like that is one of the reasons that I am excited about this podcast. Like what people are gonna see about Kiki are gonna be her numbers and her resilience, but they have not seen the struggles that had happened behind closed doors. And I feel like people get a lot of that misconception about me and other just really great humans in the door-to-door space that all we see are the wins on social media. And because I've literally seen this big, huge roller coaster from you from your very first summer to even now, but I kind of want to just talk about the recent ones and just like how proud and like mind-blowing it is to just see you like resilient and show up, even though we tell ourselves every day we're quitting and what the hell are we doing in door-to-door. Like how many times we have to talk Kiki off of a ledge, off of like, I promise things are gonna work out. But yeah, I do kind of want you to talk about that a little bit, because I don't think half this team even knows the emotional roller coaster that you went through probably for like 6 weeks before kind of getting to this point of June and having a freaking amazing June.
Yeah, we had a harder market a few hard markets, and I think it was, in my eyes, it was a lot of uncontrollables, but also I think I was having a hard time finding my rhythm, and feeling like, okay, is everyone just flaky? Am I not good at this job anymore? Like, what is happening? And May was one of my lowest months, possibly since I started. I don't know. It was one of, for sure. and especially being in a leadership role and having new people on the team that you are telling them, oh, Kiki this, Kiki that, watch her. And I'm like, hi, I sometimes can do this job. But
right now, maybe not.
And feeling this pressure of like needing to take care of like supporting you and like helping the team feel like they can do what they need to do and perform. And it felt like it wasn't happening. And I was like, I don't know if I should even be in this role if I can't perform and still show up for the team. And so I felt, that was hard. Over local fried chicken, Suli was like walking me through my tears and just still believing in me. And also I feel like relieving pressure, like letting me know that you did feel like I was still contributing in my role on the team, just having to work through my own personal production. And I don't really know like what shifted other than just continuing. Like, I'm so grateful for this space because, and with Suli, like we do so much on our team of mindset and like the tools that help us when things aren't going our way. So that consistency, like when no matter what's going on around you, if you are consistent in your habits, in your discipline, even when you don't want to do it right. And I feel like that continual, like, okay, well, I'm gonna keep showing up.
Yes, that's literally all she did. She just kept
I'm just gonna keep going.
showing up.
And then at some point, I don't know exactly when the shift happened, but like, maybe it was just like June.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like a refresh, and then June hit, and I saw one of our closers get 20 deals last month as a closer, and I was like,
That's what her goal is.
okay. So if you can do that as a closer, why can't I do that as a setter?
That is true.
So I was like, okay, fine, June. And I think that maybe was the shift. It was like, okay, new month, new goal. Like, I'm gonna just dream big, and I'm not even gonna like try to hope that I'm going back to where I've been before. I'm like overshooting, because I believe in miracles and also like the unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the definition of faith, is like expecting and believing in something that you haven't actually seen evidence for. And there was no evidence that
Zero.
Kiki can do this job that well. And now it's like this last week was my best week
Had her
ever.
best day.
Best day ever, best week. And I am just, and it's not even that I'm like, wow, I'm back and now I'm never gonna like fall again. It's like, no, this is just cool to see that how quickly things can shift if you are consistent, and how dramatic they can shift. Like, it's not like, oh, now I'm back to 2 deals a week. Like, it can, like, you can all of a sudden catch a big wave.
1,000%.
With also realizing you might fall off that big wave.
Oh, we will.
But the momentum and feeling like I am still doing the same things I was doing in May that are consistent, no matter if I'm winning or losing.
Yeah, it's catching up.
Yeah, and so it's just been cool, especially with the other crazy that has happened.
Well, and that's what I wanted to share and like chat about, because like looking at you from your very first summer here to right now, and even like all the emotions and the drama, like you were talking about it like earlier, you know, the bounce back, like I expect that I'm gonna fail. I expect to have shitty days. I expect to not always have the wins, and I am able to just get back to where I need to quickly. So you recognizing and being able to like openly share of like, okay, yeah, I know that I'm gonna keep moving forward, but what you've noticed that you're doing differently is I don't even wanna say coming back to reality, but you are like your resilience level 1 is just a lot higher, but being able to get back up after falling down is just a lot quicker than most people who are just sitting in their feels. You know, they're gonna have a rough day, so they want to take days off. Like, I was even wanting Kiki after her freaking accident to like, hey, take the day off, like do this, and that. And she's like, no, if I'm gonna take any day off, it's not gonna be a Saturday. like, you know, this energy and watching this summer number 3 has just been like so cool, just to be able to like see the growth. And the biggest difference is the application. Like, yes, everyone is hearing and getting the same information from you. Even people in whatever industry that you're in and watching on social media, the biggest difference between successful people and people who are still mediocre are the actions that are being taken. And Kiki is an action taker. There's gonna be a lot of people who are passive, who are gonna keep like, you know, woe is me and going through the motion. You are just taking the action to just show up, and everything is just, I don't even want to say clicking, because you're doing the same things, but the universe is catching up, and I love watching it.
Thank you. She mentioned, for any of y'all that didn't know, she mentioned an accident. This has just been such an interesting, like, juxtaposition week of, like, Thursday, I got hit in my driver's side, which almost totaled my car, but it was drivable, so I drove it. It was like, okay, I'm still gonna hit the doors, and I did.
She like texted me, she's like, hey, I got in an accident, everything is fine. I'm nervous that I'm gonna miss the meeting, and I know that's because you wanna make sure that I feel supported and you're doing your thing, but I'm like, this girl, like anyone else is gonna be like, I got in a car accident, I'll probably see you in a couple days after I get this figured out. And she's like, hey, let me navigate this and get on the doors at a certain time.
And so I did, and I was like, okay, we're good. Like, I'll get this car to the shop. stop when the insurance has told me I can get it. But then the next morning the car won't start, and now the starter needs to be fixed. So sweet guy on our team, we're family. Like, he was there, he helped me change the starter, which I only got to use for like a day and a half, because then the next day, the third day, Friday, I watched my car as I'm sitting with some homeowners on their porch at 9:30 p.m., which was late for me. But I really felt like I
Mind
needed
you,
to...
she's still getting deals, like each day. Like each day that this is happening, she's getting deals while people on the team are like either showing up late or didn't wash their clothes or forgot deodorant. Like, she's like real life getting hit by stuff and still getting deals closed.
I tell you, that I'm sitting with these sweet homeowners, Spanish couple, and the drunk driver hits my parked car that has already been hit. And so now it's definitely undrivable, and I'm running after the drunk driver, the couple's running after me, like we had just set an appointment for them, but they're like, call 911, and we're just like all running down the dark country road. And I mean, thankfully, like, I felt so much support, like you giving me the option to, hey, if you feel like you don't need to knock tomorrow, but also here's my car, like, here's my car, go, like, run if you want to. And that day ended up being my biggest day.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, if anyone is like feeling the roller coaster or feeling the struggle, like, one day can change everything. And if you feel like a lot of pushback, like, just believe that, like, I think beyond the pushback is the flow. Like, that is the definition. Like, surfers get that. Like, you gotta fight past a big wave in order to ride a big wave. And so feeling that, like, I did not feel stressed. I think that was what was so cool the last few days. Like, I have no idea how these two different insurances are gonna battle out and fix my car.
But she's like, they better battle it out because I'm not paying anything.
Like, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know how long I have this rental or like whatever. It's not even like impacting me right now, which is so cool. My fire ant bites are actually what's worse for me. Waking me up at night, but welcome to door to door.
Yeah.
But it's this like, oh wow, when you are fighting and have any reason to give an excuse and you overcome that, it's like the test of, oh, can you keep going?
Yeah.
And then you get to ride. And so I think I will remember this experience forever.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and the symbolism for me of what that felt like to go, okay, just keep breathing. It's like something I learned in yoga. Like, I think yoga, if any of y'all need a little tip, do some yoga when you're on the door, like before the doors. But that feeling of like yoga flow is like breathing from hard to hard. Like, those poses, holding those poses can be hard. Like, you feel the burn, but the breath is that connection. And if you keep breathing when the things are hard in door to door or anything, like, that breath connects you from hard to hard so that you still feel flow, even if it does feel hard and it feels like a burn.
And I love that you weren't feeling like any kind of anxiety. And I think that that's just also a sign of just leadership and growth. Like, how many people are we around that are always just like waiting to be like told something, or woe is me, or victim mindset? I feel like successful people and people who are wanting to lean into leadership, they're looking for solutions. They're like, okay, well, this happened. There's nothing I'm gonna do about it. And you just kept going. She's like, let me just go and do what I gotta do. And again, like, that is just what successful people are doing. Like, shit happens and we either sit in it and woe is me, or do exactly what you did and freaking had your best day and your best like freaking week. Like, I'm excited that I got to watch it like firsthand.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your support, your car, your belief in me.
Yes.
And that, I think that's part of what makes Door to Door such a beautiful space too, is feeling like you're surrounded by people that are up-leveling you. Whether it's like leaders that level you up and expect the best out of you, competitions that level you up. Like, he does not like to miss an incentive. She doesn't like to lose. So I'm just grateful. Yeah. Feeling really grateful, and I'm excited for what stories are to come in this podcast. And like, this is just one story, and this is just 1 week.
Kiki has plethoras. Okay. So the goal for the team in 2024, one thing that a lot of solar companies will do is probably not even be able to install or even sell 3 megawatts in a year. That's typically what people try to do, is about 3 megawatts. My goal is always to sell at least 3 megawatts like this summer. That is our goal for Team Uprise, is gonna be 3 megawatts. It's also the same goal that I've given my CSO, and we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whether we're here till Christmas, maybe not till Christmas, but we are gonna do 3 megawatts here on Team Uprise.
Yeah, we are.
Thanks for tuning in. Just, tune in next week to be able to listen to more stories, the ins and outs of things that are happening here on the Door-to-Door Team.